Now, over the next 5 years, according to city development plans, the investment required is rupees 3,50,000 crores. Whereas under the mission, we are sparing only rupees 1 lakh crore. When we said 1 lakh crore, it appeared to be a huge sum. It appeared to be a tall claim. We find that sum also to be woefully inadequate. That's the reason why we would like to encourage public-private partnerships in our partnership schemes, which we recently embarked upon. Commonwealth Games. Village is built by a private company. We gave the land, and that private company, in addition to making an upfront payment of rupees 300 crore, the flats, to return them to us. They will retain 2/3. We are going to have a huge international convention center in Dwarka. The problem with that piece of land in Dwarka is because of the airport, we can't permit vertical growth. And we've got a private company to offer to build the biggest international convention center in Asia. In Singapore, the capacity is 10,000. In Delhi, it will be more than 10,000. And that company had to pay rupees 900 crore by advance. I'm referring to huge schemes. That apart, there is enormous scope for PPPs in solid waste management, in water supply. In many cities now, pedestrian crossings, road overbridges are all being entrusted to private sector. And they are now proving to be a win-win propositions. Under the mission, which I referred to earlier, we are giving priority to 4 items. 1, drinking water. 2, sewerage. 3, stormwater drains. 4, solid waste management. So far, we have sanctioned schemes worth rupees more than 20,000 crore for various projects of this kind in the last 18 months. And 70% of the money has gone to projects in these 4 areas. Apart from these 4 areas, we are focusing on public transport. As everybody knows, we can't, in a country like India, afford personalized transport beyond a point. Even countries like America are recognizing this. America may be able to afford personalized transport financially, but Mother Earth cannot afford it ecologically. There is no alternative to public transportation in India. That is the reason why we are going for metro rail projects in a big way. First of all, we are taking up metro rail in megacities, cities with a population of more than 4 million, as recorded in 2001 census. Delhi, you are aware of, in Mumbai, in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, in all these places, we are planning for metro rail. Even in metro rail, for the first time at the global levels, we are trying to go in for a PPP model. So far, we were thinking of giving only 20% grant. Mumbai and Hyderabad have come forward for a PPP model in metro rail. All over the world, metro rail is encouraged only to public finance. We are for the first time at the global level experimenting with PPP model even in metro rail. We are at the moment considering to increase our grant, Government of India's grant, from 20 to 30%. No final decision has been taken. The papers have been put up to the cabinet. I thought I should choose this occasion to disclose this. $10 more can be provided to the state government. For the remaining 60%, the private partner raises money through equity, loan, and runs the system. But we have found that bus rapid transit system, BRTS, is relatively cheaper, 4 times cheaper, and is appropriate for smaller cities. And we have sanctioned BRTS already in Indore, Bhopal, Pune, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Jaipur, Vijayawada, and Vizag. We will be providing more than 2,000 crores for these projects. Now, I must say something about National Capital Regional Planning Board's achievements and also refer to the issue of urban and regional planning, encouragement of satellite towns and counter-magnets. Here I will touch on our schemes and institutional arrangements. Our ministry has formulated a scheme of urban infrastructure development in satellite towns, counter-magnets, of million-plus cities, metros. The objective of this scheme is to develop such towns near metro agglomerations, which can reduce pressure on such million-plus cities. We have circulated for comments of the state governments. We have to list the satellite towns around million-plus cities. We will announce the scheme very soon. As for institutional setup for regional planning, to decongest megacities, let me cite the example of NCRPP, Delhi. The National Capital Region of Delhi covers almost 33,000 square meters of area over 14 districts of the states of UP, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Delhi. The National Capital Region Planning Board under our ministry prepares regional plan and complementary functional plans related to key infrastructure to develop the adjoining areas in the NCR to stem the tide of migration in the NCTD and to reduce the pressure on its existing infrastructure. The board, now let me refer to what has been done in the last 20 years. The board has financed 71 infrastructure projects like water supply, sewerage, drainage, solid waste management, electricity distribution and transmission, roads, amounting to rupees 11,300 crores till March 2007. I am glad to tell you all this money was given to various cities and states by way of loan, and payment record of the states in this area has been 100%. The growth of population in city of Delhi has declined to 47.02% in the decade 1991 and 2001 from 52.44% in earlier decades. That means the migration rate has declined to Delhi. There has been a decline in the percentage share of net migrants in the city of Delhi, increase in the urbanizable area, which releases some 24,000 hectares for development, a piece of legislation to set up a regulatory authority. This regulatory authority will be important for protecting the interests of both builders and buyers. Builders also get into piece of land without proper titles, and buyers also are sometimes cheated. So we will be able to put this authority in place in 2008. I am giving a time frame to myself. Now, it's possible to rid our metros of slums. That is through in situ development. An experiment has been made in Mumbai. We are making experiments in Delhi. And let this conclave dream of a slum-free metro. The poor people need not live in miserable conditions, particularly because the land on which they are living has appreciated enormously. This land value can be used to see that they are accommodated in better place, and experienced builders have come together. I only expect them to throw up ideas. I will receive them with an open mind, and I will facilitate a development in cities. Metros are the cities we need to focus on. That's what Government of India is doing. We are seeking cooperation from the governments of states. I'm glad to say, so far, the response from the states has been magnificent. Friends, with these words, I take it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing what the current schemes of the government are and what are the future plans. Very informative, very useful. Thank you. What is the future growth? Are we talking about major metros and the suburbs developing only in the near future, or there is a scope for other tier 2, tier 3 cities coming in? There's a lot of discussion lately in the press and the media and otherwise about tier 2 and tier 3 cities, but it still seems that most of the investments are going in the major cities and around because of various reasons. I would request Mr. Hiranandani to start and share his views on this.
Of government. Since everybody belongs to Delhi and I'm the only person who comes from the west and a little away, I'll do a little diversion of focus to the west, if you will permit me, Your Honor. I want to first thank the Minister. The Minister, with the Jawaharlal Nehru Fund for Urban Renewal, has set certain manner. And I'm glad to say that not only has the state government started the process in terms of stamp duty modifications, but has made a commitment in writing to the central government that they will do it within a time frame. But the act on the ground is exactly the contrary. Urban land ceiling is now being worked on with circulars issued every week mandating more urban land ceiling than less till the scrapping is taking place, and less production is happening on the ground than happened 2 years ago. So this walking the talk is not happening as fast as it is mandated, but I'm happy that the central government has actually mandated it. We are extremely grateful to you as an industry, as a citizen of Mumbai. We are extremely proud that you have done it. On urban infrastructure, also Mr. Jaipal Reddy has announced several schemes including metro rail, and I think the state government has taken action in terms of opening the highways. Headed by Mr. Jaipal Reddy, that 14 years delayed project has now taken off the ground. So I want to thank you again on it. Brimstone. Stormwater drain, because we had a flooding. The Brimstone project also, thanks to the Prime Minister and Mr. Jaipal Reddy, we've been able to structure that and they are monitoring it on a regular basis. So thank you, Mr. Jaipal Reddy. So a large amount of directions have been given by the central government, and that, believe me, sir, please continue to do so. Please do not think that they have started it. A lot of walk the talk has still to take place, and unless you don't, I don't know what to say, bang them on their heads, it's not likely to happen. So please continue to do your good work, and I want to say we are extremely grateful to you. On the ground, sir, the population has doubled, but the percentage in slums has also doubled. So it's actually gone fourfold. So the number of people dishoused in the last 30 years is unbelievably high. In the richest city of India, where more than half the people living in juggies can afford a house of the size which they are buying. It's only because we are not able to, as industry, I'm equally at fault. I cannot fault government alone. I think industry also has a role to play, and I think we in industry also are equally at fault for not being able to do it. You will get affordable housing. Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you. I think Mr. Journalist has...
The current growth is mostly happening in the major metros and the suburbs of it. So as more employment is being created, new industrialization is happening in the other smaller cities, and we are creating a real housing consumer. I think those markets will open up. Aspiration levels are really rising. So I think we will see at least 25 to 30 new cities emerge over the next 4 to 5 years itself, which could be a large market for the organized real estate sector. Affordability is a major concern in most of these markets. With the current prices and the regulatory process.
Compare in a comparison of what is happening in the major metros versus what is happening in the smaller towns. Of course, the percentage, what will happen in the bigger cities will be much greater than what's happening in the smaller towns. But smaller towns are doing extremely well, and I would just like to state one or two examples. There is a city we are working in which is called Jodhpur. And when we did our study there, and our team went there and did a market study, so they came out with a very interesting report where they said is with no basic infrastructure, they don't have adequate water, they don't have sewer, they don't have a place to park their car, and if two cars come on the street, there is a traffic jam, there's a traffic chaos. So even the basic facilities are not available in a lot of these cities, and the people who live there have a lot of aspirations. They want to live the lifestyle which people live in major metros. They watch the same TV, they know exactly what's happening in the world, they read the same newspapers, they are well exposed, they travel in the same cars, all the cars are available there. But they are still not able to enjoy. I think they are investing about 10 to 15,000 crores there. And because of that, the market there is just booming, and prices have, I think, quadrupled in the last 2 years. So a lot of these tier 2 cities are also doing very well and have great potential. But of course, again, in comparison to major metros, they will always be behind. But for the growth of the nation as a whole, they also have to grow. The whole country cannot live in the metros. I think there will still be people living in tier 2, tier 3, even in villages. I think that thing is going to remain.
Thanks. I'll ask Mr. Rohtas Goel. I mean, is
the supply was less. And after, the New Delhi, Gurgaon birth was there, and then Noida also took a birth. Why it took a birth? Because of the less supply. So, the supply is not only, this is the model of the entire India. Any city in India which has the population, just more than 500,000 population, today needs to have a world-class township. In my opinion, cities like Agra, Jaipur, Lucknow, I can say these cities are today, outdated cities. Sewer lines are not working, roads are quite narrow. If somebody has the car, he doesn't have the place to, park the car in front of his house or even in the house. So today, because these cities were not planned, today we require a lot of cities or the suburbs of the cities which are required to be planned in a world-class